Good afternoon and welcome to Millbrae for our final match of the weekend in this third round of fixtures in the FOSROC Super 6 series. It's fourth place Ayrshire Bulls against third placed Heriots. And the Bulls return home after defeat at the hands of Stirling County last weekend, and they'll be hoping to rediscover the form which saw them beat Boroughmuir Bears here in the opening match of the season. But they'll have to be at their very best this evening as they lock horns with early pace setters Heriot Rugby, who have picked up maximum points so far with victories over the Southern Knights and the Boroughmuir Bears. Now the Bulls have come out on top in the side's last two encounters, a 41-7 win here last August, a game which I watched in glorious sunshine, rather better weather than the dreich afternoon that we have down here in the southwest of Scotland sadly this afternoon, and they followed that up by a 28-0 win at Golden Acre in September. But Heriots will come here full of confidence that they can turn the tables on their hosts after an excellent start to the season, and a win would catapult Heriots back to the top of the table at close of play today. Kenny Murray is alongside me in commentary this afternoon. Kenny, back in your old stomping ground. You were a very successful Ayr head coach for 5 seasons. You then spent several years coaching at Glasgow Warriors, but recently you were appointed Scottish Rugby's head of player transition, and that includes leading the Scotland Under-20s programme, head coach with that. You're going to know lots of these players well. We'll speak about some of the individuals just shortly, but you've got to be the best placed person, I think, to ask a more general question about the importance of the FOSROC Super 6 as a vehicle to help transition our talented young players into the professional game.
Yeah, we've had a fantastic start over the last few games. I think last week we had 24 of sort of 25 or 26 available to under 20 guys involved in the Super 6, so that was great news. It's really important in terms of preparing players to compete at under 20 level, that they get the best club experience in the country, so Super 6 is providing the boys for that, and it's just great to see the clubs buying into it and playing them.
Now there's 2 other games this weekend. We've on Friday night with the Southern Knights against Stirling County. We'll have a quick look at the results of those ones. Southern Knights 10, Stirling County 24, so that took Stirling County to the top of the table. And then the 2 o'clock kick-off today, Boroughmuir Bears 0, Watsonians Rugby 15. And then, let's say, we're looking forward to 4:30 kick-off Ayrshire Bulls against Heriot Rugby, so we'll see the effect that those first 2 fixtures have had on the league table. As I say, that win for Stirling County briefly took them ahead of Heriot Rugby at the top of the table, but that win for Watsonians Rugby has taken them out in front. A win for Heriot Rugby, as I said earlier, that would take them to the top of the table again, and then down in the bottom half, the Ayrshire Bulls on 6, and then Boroughmuir Bears on 2 and the Southern Knights on 1. And remember, in this sprint series we've got 5 fixtures before the table splits into a top 3 and a bottom 3, and Kenny, looking at that bottom half, the Bulls can't really afford another loss.
Yeah, this is a big game for Ayrshire Bulls today. Obviously, as you said earlier, it's last year's winners against this year's pace setters, so I know, speaking to Pete during the week, he was disappointed with their performance last week at Stirling County. Didn't take their opportunities, was probably his biggest reflection, so they'll be desperate to win at home and also make sure that they don't leave such a gap between themselves and Heriots that they can't catch up.
Yes, Ayrshire Bulls winning the main FOSROC Super 6 season last year with that victory over the Southern Knights, and Heriot Rugby lost the 5th-6th playoffs, so essentially the top team against the bottom team from last year. But how quickly things can change. Is that just a change in the squads?
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of rugby as well, isn't it? There's no certainties. I think Heriots have changed their squad a bit from last year. There's a few players from the Southern Knights have joined Heriots, and I think that's bolstered them. So I think on speaking to Andy Kelly, they feel they're much stronger than they were last year, and they're really enthusiastic about winning the competition.
So let's take a look at the 2 lineups. So first of all, the home side, the Ayrshire Bulls, and in the front row, props Tom Lambert and Michael Scott, either side of Grant Stewart, released by Glasgow Warriors this week. One Scotland cap to his name, originally at the Straven club. In the second row, Ed Bloodworth moves back from blindside flanker into his more usual position in the second row beside Alex Samuel. And in the back row, Blair Mcpherson, the captain, is joined by 2 players returning from injury and straight into the starting lineup, Rory Jackson and Ryan Sweeney. On the bench, Alex Maguire, Andrew Nimmo, Calvin Henderson, Lewis McNamara, Joe Knight, Jordan Lennox, Matt Minogue and Tom Lanny. And then if we look at the Heriot's side, the visitors, so very experienced front row, Chris Keane, Michael Lyons and Ewan McLaren, an ex-Southern Knights player. Jamie Campbell gets his first start for Heriot's alongside captain Rory Leishman. And again, huge experience in the back row with Jason Hill, Ian Wilson and Jack Mann. Jed Gelderbloom and Bruce Houston, the halfbacks. And the centres, Cameron Hutchison, released by Edinburgh Rugby this week, is alongside Niall Godsmark, former Scotland Sevens player, another ex-Southern Knights player. And Sam Pecure, likewise Scotland Sevens, Southern Knights on one wing. Freddie Owsley, we're looking forward to seeing him in action. Joined Edinburgh Rugby from the Bristol Academy. And then at fullback, Ross Jones, the Welshman, the vice-captain. And we spoke, Kenny, off air about just some of the matchups between the two teams. Maybe you could pick out a few of them for us.
Yeah, I think it's a very strong looking Heriot's midfield. Obviously with Godsmark and Hutchison. I think the battle between Hutchison and Tom Jordan at 12 is going to be really interesting. Two really physical players. Tom's obviously in with Glasgow training, has been all season, so I'm really looking forward to that. Freddie Owsley is a guy that I've heard a lot about. He's very quick, very dangerous player, so again it'll be interesting to see how he goes against Elias Caven, who again for Ayr has played really well so far. He's a very dangerous player from counter-attack, so those are big matchups. And I think also up front, the back rows, anyone who's watched there will know that guys like Blair Mcpherson and Ryan Sweeney are integral to their game, how they play. And then up against that really physical Heriot's back row of Mann, Wilson and Hill. And I mean, Mann has already scored a couple of tries against the Knights and he's shown what he's capable of, so I'm looking forward to seeing how those back rows do well against each other.
You can see some umbrellas up there, and everybody seems to be wearing coats. We've been fortunate in the first two rounds of the sprint series, the FOSROC Super 6 sprint series, that we've had great weather. Not so nice today. Well, the second half's maybe unfair of the previous game. I was going to call it error strewn. I don't think it was error strewn, but there was quite a lot of set piece had come from handling mistakes. Do you think this will affect how the two teams approach this one?
Obviously they'll speak a bit about their game management, not wanting to play maybe too much in their own half in these weather conditions, but the thing we know about both coaches and both teams that they're very attack minded. You know, Pete will want to play rugby, so he'll be challenging his guys to make sure they have a go, and don't let the weather conditions get in the way of that. Similar with Heriot, you know, that back line that they've got out, you know, they'll be looking to play rugby, so I think just managing the game and making sure they're not beating themselves and putting themselves under pressure.
Here come the visitors, Heriot's Rugby, led out by their captain Rory Leishman, big second row. There he is with the number 4 jersey on, so the sizeable figure of Jason Hill in the number 8 jersey just a few seconds ago. 32 years old now. Had a season with Glasgow Warriors, has been at Bedford Blues, Doncaster Knights. He brings a huge amount of experience. Yeah,
fantastic ball carrier, Jason. He's obviously been about the game for a while, very experienced, you know, a real hard working player, and he'll be the kind of guy Heriots are looking to get them some go forward today. Very abrasive, as I said, so yeah, Ayr will have to deal with him.
And here come the home side, the Ayrshire Bulls. Blair Mcpherson, their captain, number 8, leading the way. Another player who's been around a while, 30 years old now, huge experience. He's a big guy as well, 115 kilos in terms of getting his side on the front foot.
Yeah, huge player for Ayr over the last few years. Last year he was integral to them winning the championship. I think one thing on Blair we spoke about earlier, just probably discipline. You know, he's been yellow carded in both games so far, so in big games like this you need to keep your players on the pitch, so hopefully he'll be a good boy today.
Grant Stewart, Glasgow Warriors hooker, just going out of shot there. Our cameraman might be busy wiping their
get the wipers on,
wiping their screens. So it will be Heriots to kick off. Bruce Houston, former Ballymena and Ulster player, taken there by Alex Samuel. Ayrshire Bulls second row. It looks like they'll be setting up to Cam Jones, perhaps the box kick this one. Get the Bulls out of their half. And that's good chase there by the Bulls. It looked like they might come up with it, but that ball has been knocked on. It was a well-judged kick. It allowed the Ayrshire Bulls chasers to get underneath it, but just couldn't quite gather it.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest restart probably from Bruce there at 10. I think obviously Ayr's shown there you're not going to mess about in their own half. 2 phases before they build that exit. So again, I think we'll see that being pretty consistent in the game. But in wet weather conditions, your kicking game becomes really important. But obviously, as we know, kicking's only as good as a chase. So good effort, good work rate by Ayr there.
Jed Gelderbloom in the 9 jersey today for Heriot's Rugby gets his first start. One of the many Scotland under 20 players involved in the match today. A good solid scrum there at the feet of Jason Hill, and Gelderbloom clears it away out into the midfield where Heriot's just carry hard, and a couple of missed tackles, and away they go up over halfway. It's Cameron Hutchison, the Edinburgh player, finds support on the inside. 2 quick passes and a chance here for Niall Godsmark, dragged down by the Ayrshire Bulls defence. About 10 metres short of the Bulls try line, and out it goes. There could be space out to the right here for Heriot's. That ball just lost there by Vice-Captain Ross Jones, the fullback, with a line looking like it was there for Heriot's to come up with a very early score there from the scrum in their own half. Yeah,
we spoke about these guys beforehand, didn't we, how physical it was going to be. I think Ayr just went high in that collision, and Hutchison busting through there. Great support play as well by the Heriot's open side flanker there, Ian Wilson. So Heriot showing their intent early in the game and showing how physical they're going to be.
It's their second scrum. I've seen how dangerous Heriot's can be from their scrum. This will be just a clearance here for the Ayrshire Bulls from their own 22. Cam Jones scored a try in week 1 in their defeat of the Boroughmuir Bears.
And he's a guy that Pete's spoke really highly of. I think in the warm-up games up until the 2 games that they've played there, I think he scored 5 tries in the games. So I know Pete rates him really highly. So really interesting to see how he goes today.
He was awarded the FOSROC Super6 player of the match in that game as well, if I remember correctly. Another ex-Southern Knights player, and I think with the Gloucester Academy.
Yep.
So a second attempt at getting this scrum down. Heriot's a try to apply a bit of pressure. Was up there on the loose head side. Chris Keane, out at the Kelso club, spent some time with Gala before signing for Heriot's Rugby.
You're not going to gain any advantage by going round. Okay, you got to go straight.
He's up against Michael Scott, former GHA player, big lad, 122 kilos. He comes in for Enrique Pieretto, Glasgow Warriors player who turned out for Ayrshire Bulls last week.
And Michael Scott as well, he's been in training with Glasgow, so he'll have benefited from that experience over recent months. And again, he'll be looking to try and dominate in this game.
A second reset of this scrum, and it comes from Cam Jones. It squirts out the back there and picked up by Blair Mcpherson. The Bulls captain takes play up over the 22. The referee just makes sure Heriot's defence stays onside. Come up and meet the Bulls carrier hard. And that ball has been charged down there, tapped back, and does come up in the hands of Ryan Sweeney, the Ayrshire Bulls open side flanker. That could have gone horribly wrong there for Ayrshire Bulls, but they'll get another chance to clear their lines here. Cam Jones looks like he'll take on the kicking duties himself this time. And nobody coming forward for Heriot's to take that, eventually tapped back into the hands of Jason Hill. Not dealt with well. Heriot's do still have possession. Jed Gelderbloom just feeds that ball off there to Jack Mann. Chris Keane working hard at the breakdown. And back out into the midfield, just a little wrap-around play there. It could work for Heriot's as they try to shovel that ball out to the left wing. Here goes Niall Godsmark, outside centre. Back into the pod of forwards. Nice little tip on there by the captain, Leishman. And then again out into the midfield. And Houston with 2 forwards just running off from there, but that couldn't be taken. Knocked on by the Heriot's forwards. You can see the pattern of play. I think it was Mann there that couldn't deal with that one, but you can see how Heriots are trying to shape up an attattack.
Yeah, obviously we spoke about their attacking mindset, and they've shown that there in that passage of play. I think it is also the pressure they're putting on the air exits as well. You know, Christian getting charged down, I think there. So you know, their work rate, their work effort off the ball has been fantastic, and also their physicality in the ball carries. They're probably not imposing themselves maybe as well as they'd want to defensively.
So another Ayrshire Bulls scrum. Heriots will feel like they just applied a little bit of pressure on the last Bulls scrum. No doubt try again, Chris Keane on this loose head side for the Edinburgh side. It's a fairly solid scrum there though for the Bulls. Been asked to use it. Out it comes from Jones, and they try to go out into the right flank from the scrum, then kicked on into that Heriot's 22. A little bit of a panicky kick in the end there by Ross Jones, but he does find a touch.
I think Ayr will be happy with that. A nice exit scrum there, you know, winning some real territory. Probably not the best kick by Heriots, but Ayr will be happy with the outcome. Good attacking line out opportunity now.
If you're in front of the kick. Okay.
Referee Keith Allen there, assisted today by Ben Blaine and Michael Todd. Play on the Heriot's 10-metre line, and it comes from Stewart, taken well at the front. That's a good drive there by the Ayrshire Bulls, just galloping forward towards the Heriot's 22. It was Grant Stewart that broke away there, and he looked like he just tried to flick the ball out the back. Might have been better just keeping a hold of that, but ball lost. However, I think it must have been a Heriot's hand that came in there, because the referee has awarded the scrum to the Ayrshire Bulls.
Yeah, good drive by Ayr. They obviously got some good momentum from that drive, so they'll be happy with that. Grant probably just needs to have a little bit more accurate there with that connection. If that ball goes to 9 though, you know, Ayr are in behind.
Good work, lads. If there's a kick, you stop till you put onside, okay?
So another Bulls scrum, a more attacking position now just outside that Heriot's 22 on the right hand side of the field. Once again Cam Jones with ball in hand to feed the scrum. Captain Blair Mcpherson channels it to him at the back. Out it goes into the midfield again, out the back to Townsend. Throws that ball wide to nobody in particular. Elias Caven picks it up, cuts back in field, makes his way up towards that Heriot's 22. And back it comes again to Townsend, looking for a carry in the midfield. Tom Lambert on this occasion can't take it. We spoke about how the weather might play its part today, and we've already seen 2 or 3 knock-ons, which I think we could probably put down to the conditions.
Yeah, you know, probably in these weather conditions you probably just want to hold your feet a little bit, give yourself enough depth, but really by their own standards here, they should definitely be catching those kind of passes. I think for both teams as well, you know, those drop balls, I think they'll be looking to play off turnovers. If they get opportunities, both teams will look to try and have a go. They've got very, very dangerous players out wide, Ayrshire Bulls and Heriot, so we maybe expect to see some good play if both teams drop the ball.
Let's go again.
Another attempt to get this Heriot scrum down. Jed Gilderbloom just having a quick word with his number 8 Jason Hill there. Has a quick look to see how the Bulls' defence are aligned. You've got to imagine that Heriots will try to clear this upfield. Now, the referee has awarded a penalty on this occasion. It seemed like the Bulls tried to get a drive on there, but I think the referee said they've lost their feet and awarded the scrum to the penalty to Heriots.
I think it was Tom Lambert, maybe he's penalised there. The chance then for Bruce Houston, the Irishman.
find some territory for Heriot. Decides to go across to the left side of the pitch. Finds a good touch just on the Bulls 10 metre line. Houston with the distinction of scoring or kicking the first ever Super 6 drop goal last year. And it will come from Michael Linus. Finds his man at the front as that was passed down to Jed Gelderblom. He couldn't deal with that, and advantage here, scrum advantage for the Ayrshire Bulls. They try and play their way up towards halfway. It goes there from Townsend to his inside centre Jordan, Glasgow Warrior. It squirts out the back there. Herriot's come round on that.
You were fine, but the tackler's still in the way, so I can't allow the turnover.
So Jason Hill in there to try and win the turnover, but the referee explaining that Ian Wilson was in the way.
Yeah, it's a big part of Heriot's game. They go really hard at breakdown. They're really strong over ball across their team. So I know Ayr will be aware of that this week, but unfortunately for Heriot, they were just off feet.
Michael, you get your feet underneath you, please.
It was an area that the Bulls were challenged in by Stirling County as well, I thought, last week in County's win up there at Bridgehawk.
Another good attacking line out here for Ayr.
Almost 12 minutes on the clock, it's still 0-0. So Grant Stewart looking to find Alex Samuel in the middle. Pop back to Stewart. Oh, the referee knocked over there by Elias Caven. I don't think he'll have enjoyed that very much.
I'm not sure that's the best place to stand.
The crowd would enjoy that, they all seem to, and the referee gets knocked over, but thankfully Keith Allen seems to be okay. This little intricate play there just popped back in. I guess the referee thought the same as the Bulls were hoping the Heriot's defence would buy that as well, and that the ball was going out into the midfield, and it was just dropped back inside by Grant Stewart to his blindside winger Elias Caven, and the referee will say he should have used his feet better and stepped round him rather than going straight into him.
Yeah, I think it's one of those plays that really look to pick off the tail of the line out, looking to get maybe a defender folding a bit hard or getting a bit lateral, so I'm sure he'll have something else up their sleeve. The good news is the referee's back on his feet.
Nice and straight. Good work.
So when that happens, the referee just awards a scrum to the side that had the ball, so it will be the Ayrshire Bulls, still around about that Heriot's 10 metre line on the stand side of the pitch. And you can see there the weather, not ideal. You can see the flag in the background blowing as well. It's quite windy down here at Millbrae. And it comes once again, that Heriot scrum putting pressure on the Bulls. So Cam Jones forced to go down the blind side, kicks it through. Elias Caven chasing here, and this could work for the Ayrshire Bulls. Caven picks that up and touches down the first try of the match. That is an unbelievable pick-up on the run there by Elias Caven from the kick through by Cameron Jones.
Yeah, fantastic piece of play by Ayr. It wasn't a great scrum, but a really smart play by Cam Jones to go down the short side. And this is something they've been really good at over the last few weeks, just putting the ball in behind opposition, knowing that they've got real gas in Elias Caven. And you see here, look at that foot race, both him and Cam Jones getting past their opposite men. But a fantastic pick-up as well from Caven, it's got to be said. That's a great bit of skill. You'll probably see it better from this angle. But this is a great piece of skill just to get on that ball in these conditions.
As you say, the Ayrshire Bulls scrum was wheeled. It actually worked for them because Cam Jones had no option but to go down the blind side, and a lovely little kick through, weighted perfectly. And so we've spoken about the weather, so how Elias Caven managed to pick that one up without knocking it on while running flat out, I don't know, but he did, and he's touched down in the corner for the first try of the game. So the Bulls leading by 5. Christian Townsend looks to kick the conversion from out wide on that stand side of the pitch.
He'll be happy with that because they've had a fair bit of territory and possession. They'd be frustrated if they hadn't come away with anything from that sort of last 10 minutes. So they've got some points on the board now.
So the conversion missed by Townsend. It was always going to be difficult, I think, from out way there. It's not ideal conditions for the kickers.
Yeah, it's going to be tough all day, I think, isn't it?
So Houston again to get us started. That's a better kick for a start, and it's not dealt with well by the Ayrshire Bulls. Knocked on in their 22. He said the first kick-off by Houston wasn't great. That one has worked out much better for Heriot.
Yeah, I think it was Blair Mcpherson there. Get caught out with it.
It's good last scrum.
Quick chat there between Gelderbloom and Jason Hill. What's the options here then, Kenny?
Oh, I think if it was me, I'd be looking to get the ball in Cammy Hutchison's hands again, and I'm sure they'll have a little bit of decoy around them. But again, they've got so much variety in their play. Heriots, you know, they can use Jason Hill off this scrum if they wanted. They could hit Hutchison over the gain line, or else they can use that out the back play, which they've used already this season to good effect. Interesting in looking at their tries over the last two games. In the first game, all 5 of their tries were scored by forwards, and in the last game, all 6 of their tries were scored by backs. So it shows you, they've got a really good blend in their attack.
Heriots looking to strike back, having conceded that try just a moment or two ago. A loud blast in the whistle though from the referee, pulling down there the Bulls front row. It's a penalty to Heriots.
Yep, don't think Ayer's getting in the good side of the referee at scrum time at the moment.
And they would consider their set piece to be quite a weapon, I think, the Bulls.
Yeah, I think they're, particularly with guys like Grant Stewart and Tom Lambert, 2 pro players in the front row, you'd be hoping to be dominant there. And Michael Scott's been a fantastic player for Ayr over the last year or so. So yeah, they'll have to get a bit more parity as the game goes on.
An attacking line out here for Heriots as we approach the midway point in this first half. Jason Hill standing there is the +1 in that line out. Comes back to him and he breaks off, charges towards the line there, taken by 2 Bulls defenders, and just pick and go round the corner again from Heriots. They're very close, they have got over the line. Heriots level the score. Let's see who comes up with this one. It's from the initial dart by Jason Hill from the line out, and then just a pick and go, and close enough to the line, and over they went for their first try of the match. We'll perhaps see from the replay here.
Yeah, I think just at the back of the line out there, Ayr came out really early to the drive, so they end up with no one off the tail of the line out, which gave Jason some real easy yardage. And then just really good leg drive from Heriots to go over that line, good body height. Ayr will be disappointed, obviously. It's probably a soft try to give away, 2 phases. You see there, no one off the tail there, caught up in the maul.
And Jack Mann, the blindside flanker, I think the man that picked it up and just drove over. So initially good work by Jason Hill.
Yeah, those are the guys we mentioned at the start. Just good ball carriers, very physical.
And successful conversion sees Heriots into a 2-point lead.
It's that thing in rugby, isn't it? When you're most susceptible when after you score a try. Heriots have come straight back up the park and scored after Ayr.
The ball goes loose there, snapped up by Heriots. I think the assistant referee was just having a word with the referee there. I thought that ball had maybe been knocked on, but it's Heriots in possession just outside their 22, so they'll now be looking to send this upfield. As Kenny's just said there, you're always at your most susceptible when you just conceded. And Ayrshire Bulls counter-rucking there, side entry by Heriots.
Much better physicality there by Ayr, I felt. Tom Lambert and Ed Bloodworth, both involved in that tackle. That'll be the kind of physicality Pete Horn's looking for from the team.
So a kick to the corner with Townsend. Some big lads in that line out to aim for. Alex Samuel, I think the tallest of them all at 2 metres. What's that, in about 6 foot 6 or 7 probably in
big
money.
man.
Yeah, and Ed Bloodworth, not a lot shorter than him. Spent time in the English Championship with Yorkshire Carnegie.
Alex as well, he's just came back from an injury last year, didn't play much last year, so he's getting some really valuable game time.
So when it comes taken well there, that Bloodworth, I think, and Ryan Sweeney, the +1 here. The Ayrshire Bulls get this inching towards the Heriot's line, driving forward. The referee on hand there, I can see the ball touchdown over. The referee has spotted it now, touchdown by the Ayrshire Bulls.
Tom Lambert maybe it's got that one down.
I think it was. We'll see it again on the replay. But it's end-to-end stuff. First the Bulls scoring through Elias Caven. The response came soon after from Jack Mann for Heriot's Rugby. But the Ayrshire Bulls have gone down the other end now and got themselves a score from the line out.
Yeah, I think Bolton good defence, as I said earlier on, get the penalty. Tom Lambert there. Also for me, it's a big trait of Ayr's attack. It has been for many years, the driving maul. So again, that's whenever they get into those areas, there's only one place the ball's going. Rob Halley's been working with Ayr doing their maul, attacking defensive maul, so he's got them pretty well drilled.
And they had lots of opportunities in that area last week. They took their first one and then seemed to make a mess of 2 or 3, so they'll be much happier, I think, with what they've seen there, the coaches.
Yeah, pretty clinical. The maul was going forward straight from the start, and I think last week they maybe dropped the odd one as well. So yeah, they'll be happy again. It's end-to-end stuff.
Well, we said this one was shaping up to be the game of the weekend. That's not the kick of the weekend by Townsend. Conversion missed again, but that's already 3 tries in the first 20 minutes of the match.
Yeah, the crowd will be happy. They're getting value for money.
So Ayrshire Bulls 10, Heriot's Rugby 7.
Bulls 10, Heriot 7.
And again, Bruce Houston will be hoping for a similar outcome to last time. He'll probably aim this straight at Blair Mcpherson again and hope that he makes the same mistake. Taken cleanly this time though by, is that Aaron Tate maybe the winger for? It is indeed, the Bulls winger. Now ball lost though in contact, and a chance for Heriot's just outside that Ayrshire Bulls 22. However, couldn't be taken cleanly. It wasn't a great pass, and Jason Hill couldn't pick that one off his bootlaces, so the referee will go back and say no advantage to Heriot's from the initial knock on by the Bulls.
Yeah, good initial running by Aaron Tate. He's always a very powerful ball carrier. I watched Ayr's first game against Boroughmuir and he was fantastic in that game, but I think Heriot's again, when they make those turnovers, they want to try and play a bit, so they've got to be accurate themselves if they want to try and put pressure on Ayr from turnover ball.
Aaron Tate scored 2 tries in that victory over the Boroughmuir Bears. Again, another fantastic attacking opportunity here for Heriot's on their left hand side of the field, just outside the Bulls 22, and it comes again from Gelderbloom. Jason Hill and just shifts it across for Gelderbloom, make it easier to make the pass, and out it goes once again into the midfield and just crashed up by Cammy Hutchison. No surprise there. And then round the corner come the forwards. Chris Keane, first receiver there for Heriot's. Options both ways here. Again, they just go out to their right. A little bit hesitant there, Heriot's, and they were driven back by the Bulls defence, and the ball squirts out, can't be taken by Heriot, so referee playing an advantage here for the Bulls. It looks like this will come out to Grant Stewart. Does indeed. He just straightens and carries forward, makes a couple of metres, and Heriot's player in the way there, but ball comes back again for Cam Jones, and the Bulls looking to go wide, but not taken by Tom Jordan. Clearly the slippery ball playing havoc with the players out there. Cam Jones again in possession. If it goes to Samuel, big second row, and now they'll clear. Townsend sends that one long down the right hand side of the pitch, taken well at the back there by Owsley, Edinburgh Rugby player. Back come Heriot's, one of the Ayrshire Bulls players just flung out to the side. That was Finn Callahan making his first start today for the Bulls. Thrown out the contact area there. Again, Bruce Houston just looking for runners. And now they go wide down that stand side. It's Niall Godsmark, I think, taking that ball into contact. Just manages to stay in field Back it comes to Hill. Hint of a tip on there to Chris Keane, just carries himself, but great defence there by Ayrshire Bulls. Drive Hill out sideways. You hear the cheer from the crowd.
Yeah, I think you have to admire Heriot's intent to play rugby. You know, they're not being put off by the odd drop ball. Trying to keep the ball alive, keep playing, put Ayr under pressure. But as you said, Ayr will be happy with that double hit. They're trying to get as many double hits as possible. Probably playing just maybe a wee bit too much off 9 there. It was a bit easy for Ayr to double up in Jason. But good turnover for them.
The players just taking on some well-earned refreshment. The Ayrshire Bulls with that 3-point advantage. Sitting 4th in the table up against 3rd placed Heriot. That probably doesn't really tell the story though, because Heriot's sat top after last weekend, 10 points from their first 2 outings. And we'll go top again with a victory here today. I think we're already seeing that it's going to be a very difficult one to call. This one, I imagine, will go right down to the wire.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's definitely the game of the weekend. You know, it's 11 tries I think they've scored already this season in the sprint.
So Grant Stewart again finding Alex Samuel in the middle of that Bulls line out. And then round he comes. Stewart scored a try from close range last weekend. It's a great driving maul again for the Bulls, up over halfway now. And referee playing an advantage. Cam Jones breaks away there, is absolutely clattered behind the gain line. The referee will continue to play an advantage here. It's trying to make a nuisance of themselves at the breakdown. Still the Bulls in possession. Pick and go again by Grant Stewart. Certainly been busy in the opening 26 minutes or so of this one. The referee deciding this time that the Bulls have lost too much ground and will come back for the penalty.
Ayr getting a lot of purchase out their drive now. Heriot struggling a bit to stop that. I think that'll be what we'll see a lot of the rest of the second half whenever they're getting attacking line out.
An injury here to one of the Heriot's players.
Hugh McLaren, I think it's down there.
I think it is.
The former Ayr player as well, Hugh McLaren.
It's a penalty here, side entry. You hear the referee explaining to the Heriot's players there. Probably felt they had to do something to bring a halt to that driving maul because it was gathering momentum, but they're going to have to face another one because Townsend will look to find a touch. And the Heriot's 22 down that stand side. He's not got a great angle here, mind, but he'll try and get them as far as he can, and then no prizes for guessing that it will be another driving line out.
Yeah, and when they get going driving line outs are very tough to stop. You know, you've got a few options. Do you have a go in the air and compete in the air, or do you have a go at them when they hit the ground and get a bit of drive on the ground? So I think Ayr will just be keen now to try and build a bit of pressure from the line out drive.
Again, plenty targets for Stewart in that line out. This time he goes long, but again Alex Samuel is the target. Ball fed back there to Stewart. Once again, start to get some momentum. That maul brought to halt, so out it comes. Cam Jones will feed it out there into the midfield, and Tom Jordan crashes into contact. Jason Hill in there for Heriot's, but fed back to Ryan Sweeney, back in action today after an injury. Out it comes to Townsend, long ball there, lost or couldn't be taken cleanly by the Bulls players, but no knock on. See the change there, it's McLaren has gone off. Struan Sesford coming on in the front row for Heriot's. Still here in possession. Centre field, out it goes to the left again. A gap in front of Jordan there, looking for support, and he's found it. Is Aaron Tate come off his wing there, looking for work, and he's gone over for another score for the Ayrshire Bulls. Tom Jordan with the initial burst, and then Tate in support, so that's both wingers scored for the Ayrshire Bulls. And they extend their lead out now, 15 points to 7.
Yeah, I mean, Heriot's defended pretty well initially. They didn't let Ayr get much ground, but that nice little break by Tom, and then those offloads, excellent by Cam Jones just to keep that ball alive. And Aaron Tate, as you said, you know, he's always on hand, and once he gets in behind you, very difficult to stop. Just a bit of a disconnect there from Heriot between their sort of first and second defender, and he's picked that off really well.
Thank you very much.
Again, good continuity, good hand-to-hand continuity in these weather conditions. Good to see that mindset.
Good boys.
Yes, Jordan with the initial burst was Cam Jones, as every good scrum half does there. In support, couldn't get the line himself. Aaron Tate coming off his wing, adding to the 2 tries he scored in week 1. Townsend on this occasion is successful with the conversion. And with almost 30 minutes on the clock here at Millbrae, it's the Ayrshire Bulls 17, Heriot 7. 3 tries for the Bulls: Elias Cavan, Tom Lambert and Aaron Tate. Just the one for the visitors, Jack Mann, the blindside flanker, going over from close range. So let's see if Heriot then can respond. Taken by the try scorer Tate, cuts back infield. And Jones just feeds that off to the forwards, driven on by Michael Scott.
Time to run, lads. Use it,
And
please.
Cam Jones will just take on the kicking duties himself there, under a little bit of pressure from Jamie Campbell. Taken by Hill, a good catch under pressure from Aaron Tate. And this should come back on the Heriot side. Looks past there by Houston, taken well by Cameron Hutchison. Makes good ground. And play now on that Heriot's 10-metre line. Tip on there by Wilson. Now they try and go wide. Taken well. Once again, Ayrshire Bulls counter-rucking there, and this could come back on the Bulls side. Well, Stewart went in to pick that up and couldn't quite do it. I think he's knocked that ball on, so it's still with Heriot, just on their own side of halfway.
It's a knock-on
Big hits going in there. Referee playing an advantage, so Gelderbloom out into the forwards again, and then Hutchison cuts back inside. The referee again saying Heriot's going backwards, no advantage, and he'll go back for the scrum for Heriot.
Yeah, I think here are definitely imposing themselves a bit more defensively than they were in the first 15-20 minutes of the game. Both at the breakdown, some really effective counter-rucking there, and I just think their line speed and their double shots are putting those Heriot's big men under a bit of pressure. So I think they'll be happy with that.
Yeah, scrums have been good. Keep it up. Scrums have been good. Keep it up.
Here the referee happy with the scrums.
Same stability. Good work. Left for me, mate, please. Just there.
We've had a few resets.
Crouch.
You hear the Bulls players saying, let's go Cess. Struan Cessford on in the front row, replacing Ewan McLaren. The Bulls getting a bit of a drive on there this time. Does come back out on the Heriot side, but under huge pressure. Perhaps a change in the ascendancy at scrum time. Ball kicked along there by Heriot. Doesn't bounce very kindly for Liam McNamara at the back for the Ayrshire Bulls. Does manage to keep it infield. And there goes Aaron Tate, just to secure possession. It comes to Tom Jordan inside centre, Glasgow Warrior. 49 points in 9 games for the Bulls last year. Jordan. The Bulls still near 22. They want to get this sent long upfield, you would think. Cam Jones again having to dig for that one. Under pressure again from Jason Hill. Doesn't probably get as much on that as he wanted. However, it did allow his chasers to get underneath it. Ball knocked on though there by the Ayrshire Bulls. So we'll come back for yet another scrum for Heriot.
Yeah, Heriot's using their kicking game well there, I felt. You know, just off that right hand scrum, playing into the wide channel and putting it in behind there. I think McNamara just slipped as he went to get the ball, but again Heriot's put them under pressure and get good field position from it.
Another break in play, this time for treatment to Finn Callaghan. GHK product, former Scotland under-18 fullback, but playing at outside centre today and making his first start.
Yeah, I mean, Finn's obviously a winger. He's normally plays in the wing, but here I've had quite a few injuries this year already. So with young Beattie, Robert Beattie, he normally plays at centre. He's been injured, and a couple of the under-20 boys, Thomas Glendinning and Andrew Stirratt, who are both at Ayr now as well. They're both picked up knocks. So Finn's in at 13. So looks as if he's doing a decent job so far.
Yeah, great that these young players can show that versatility. Do no harm for their future development, playing in different positions. So Gilder Bloom, again, just a quick chat with his back line. The last Heriot's scrum went back. That one change in the front row made all that difference, I don't know.
We're going to have to start giving free kicks if you don't get this right. Okay?
You see Struan Sessford there with 18 jersey on the tight head side of the scrum there, 30-year-old for Heriot's Rugby, so plenty of experience. If there was an issue in the last scrum, I'm sure he'll sort it out here, and Chris Keenan on this side. Michael Lyoness between them. The hooker. A good hit there by Heriot's. Again, the drive comes on from the Bulls, and Jason Hill will have to deal with this one. He does, drives forward, dragged down by Cam Jones, but not after he'd made 5 metres or so, and then picked up by the captain, Rory Leishman. Heriot's now working their way towards that Bulls line. Little tip on there by Lyoness, driven on by Keane, and then away it goes by Gelderbloom, out along that back line, out the back there to Freddie Owsley. He was caught behind the gain line there. Shouts there from the Bulls as they turn that one over. Ball's been lost, it's gone loose, snapped up by Heriot. It's playing an advantage here. The referee, it's Jamie Campbell, clatters into contact there, and again Heriot's very close to that Bulls try line. Gelderbloom having to dig for it, had a look to the right but comes to the left, picked up by Hutchison. Crossfield kick, could there be space there? Taken superbly above his head by Rory Leishman, and then finds his winger, cuts back inside Owsley, and Owsley, he was over the line, he's lost that ball, just needed to touch it down. Knock on and goal. Unbelievable there. Great kick across field by Hutchison, and a wonderful take above his head by Campbell. Set everything up there for Owsley as he cut back in field. You see the great take there out in the wing, the left wing, and Owsley went past 3 players, and just in the tackle there of Grant Stewart, he's lost that ball.
Yeah, oh God, that's a bit of a killer, that one, isn't it, when you get that close to the line. Both teams conceding turnovers in that passage of play. Fantastic crossfield kick as well to pick Ayr off in the wide channel, and they would have expected to score that. That's probably one lost, I'm afraid, for Heriot's.
So still the Bulls cling on to that 10 points advantage. It should have been halved there. Heriot's in possession just on the Bulls side of halfway, and good ground made there through the forwards. Out it goes to that right touch line. Cure involved there, back it comes to Hill, look for support, and he's hit hard again. 2-man tackle, Kenny, you spoke about that earlier. Gelderbloom then out to Houston, and this ball out the back there by Jack Mann, the try scorer, and away goes Owsley again, looking to make amends, kicks it through, got his boot to the ball again there. It squirts infield, knocked on though by the new man Struan Sessford.
It's gathered by this player, it's knocked on.
So Heriot's trying to build some pressure there, but just can't finish it off, or can't keep a hold of the ball.
Moving the ball really well, Heriot's. You know, as I said earlier on, they're not letting the wearer stop how they want to play, so it's fantastic to see that. And just those little knock-ons, not able to allow them to build the pressure they want. So again, I'll be happy with how they're putting it under pressure initially. But just got to tidy up some of those last little passes and knock-ons.
Scrub, outside. Your mark, lads, let's go.
It's a great contest, isn't it, already? You know, we've only played 37 minutes. It's a fantastic contest.
Very much enjoying this one. I'm sure the crowd are as well. A little bit soggy, but they're certainly being entertained by the two sides who sit mid-table. Fourth placed Ayrshire Bulls, and third placed Heriot's Rugby.
Bind. Set.
Approaching half-time here at Millbrae. It comes again by Cam Jones, and Townsend
Stop,
Looked like they were going to go wide there, but just kicked long, banged off downfield by Ayrshire Bulls. But the referee loud blasting his whistle. Somebody got in front there.
Advancing.
Just hold on, lads. 13's in front of the kicker, always advancing offside.
So you'd hear there that Finn Callaghan, the guilty party. So another chance. They've had a couple in the last 3 or 4 minutes, Heriot's Rugby, and they take this one.
Yeah, again, another great attacking opportunity here for Heriots. I think Ayrshire were disappointed. It's one of those soft penalties to give away, isn't it? That close to your own try line.
Does it look like they would survive up to half time? Keep a hold of that healthy looking lead now. So Heriot really should have scored a moment or two ago, as Freddie Owsley lost the ball on the tackle of Grant Stewart when he was already over the line, just had to touch it down. But another fantastic opportunity here for Heriots. The line out 5 metres from the Bulls line, taken well at the back. They'll try and get their maul set and then get it moving forward. It's Hill at the back in control of that ball, and forward it goes. Hill's still got hold of it. Referee playing an advantage here, so Hill's been dragged to deck. Very, very close here though. Heriots just look to pick and go round the corner. There goes Wilson, the open side flanker, just about stopped. Ball still on that Heriot side. The referee says knocked on, but he was already playing an advantage. That maul was brought down illegally. He's saying it was Ed Bloodworth. So Heriots will have another chance.
I think here are probably fortunate maybe they've not had a yellow card for that as well. I think it was an intentional drop of that maul. Great drive by Heriots, you know, just exactly what Ayr did to them at the other end of the park, you know, a real well organised maul, and great go forward. I think we may see it again here.
Like you're in the line, if the maul forms you have to keep it up, okay?
It's a quick chat there on the Heriots forwards. Jason Hill again standing as the +1 on that line out, so it'll come down. Hill will get his hands on it and just move back, and again the drive comes on from Heriots. This looks good here. Jason Hill, you can see the ball in there, is still in control of it. The Bulls stop it just short there.
Advantage 7, lifting the leg.
Again a referee playing an advantage here. Sweeney lifting the leg of a Heriots player. You mentioned the yellow card,
Number
Kenny.
7,
I wonder if the referee Keith Allen is thinking the same.
I'll deal with it.
Yeah, I think that's 2 very good drives by Heriots, both stopped illegally, so I think the Heriots captain was maybe just reminding the referee there.
2 line-out offences down here. If there's any more line-out ball, somebody might have to go. The discipline has to improve down here, okay? Yeah. Thank you.
So Ryan Sweeney maybe just dodging a bullet there. I think I heard his name mentioned as lifting a leg there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the referee saw it pretty early, didn't he?
It's a line-out offence, and the line-out wasn't over. They're taking the line out. Okay. Last time.
So a third attempt from the line out for Heriots.
Okay. Right. Focus here, saving, yeah.
They might come up with a subtle variation, but it's still the same setup with Hill standing there. Again it goes to the back, but a bit untidy. Hill has to go backwards to clean that one up. So Heriot's still in possession, but not how they wanted it. They've lost 2 or 3 metres there. Pick and go through the Heriots forwards. Again, it's a bit scrappy. The Ayrshire Bulls defence trying to drive them back. Still with the capital side. Hill again just looks up. He's got support with him. And goes Cessford and Keane. Keane will pick up again. He looks. He's got man there. He's got Hill there. Just pops it off to them. Heriot's still in control of the ball here. Going into injury time at the end of the first half, and Heriots would dearly love to cross the line as we go in half time. Kick through there by Houston. Now let's see who wins this foot race. Townsend's back.
No, it's dead.
Now the referee.
No try. No try.
The referee says no try. It's difficult to see whether that ball had been touched down before it had gone dead. The referee says yes. I think the Heriots players disagree, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to see, is that Pecure, the right winger there? It is indeed for Heriots. He feels he scored that try, but the man that counts, the referee, says no.
Yeah, the referee seemed to be pretty clear. He was right on it. I think Ayr will probably be quite relieved there that Heriots kicked at, you know, so close to the try line. I think they'd be happy to deal with a kick coming through rather than the pressure that Heriots were building through their pick and go. So I think they'd have definitely taken that.
It just shows you, though, the Ayrshire Bulls with giving away 2 penalties at line out time, but then the third one they make a mess of. Heriots are forced back, and but anyway, half time here. So Ayrshire Bulls 17, Heriot Rugby 7. It's been a hugely entertaining first half at Millbrae. Let's hope that the second half lives up to that. We'll bring you highlights just shortly. We'll talk you through the 4 tries, 3 for the Ayrshire Bulls, 1 for Heriot Rugby. We're going to take a break from Millbrae for a while because we went along to Meggetland earlier this week to speak to former Edinburgh lock Alex Toulis, who's now the Boroughmuir Bears forwards coach and the Boroughmuir Academy performance manager, to hear about their pathway, which has seen the likes of Jordan Edmonds and Colleen Barretto go on to play for Scotland 7. We also spoke to Boroughmuir Bears and Scotland under-18 back rower Liam McConnell.
I've got a bit of a dual role, so I'm the Academy Performance Manager with the youth section and also the Boroughmuir Bears Super 6 forwards coach. It's quite a unique position I'm in, having really focusing on that player pathway, and then, as well with seniors, into semi-professional rugby. So a fairly important role I feel like I've got here, but a job I'm loving at the moment. I guess the main purpose is that long aid development of the youth section, the youth players, and grassroots rugby, and really about supporting them and providing them as much opportunity as they're getting older, that developing, and just really highlighting that, giving as much opportunity and support as I possibly can to, I guess, help them become the best players they can possibly be. We've got our player development pathway system, so massive, because it gives something, our players something to strive to, and that incentive. So we're more or less got 9 or 10 players who have just come out of the under-18 Scottish Cup champions. They're now training with the Bears, 2 of them being fully contracted, and they're transitioning into senior rugby. Kids look up to them and go, oh, Cleve and Jordan, they're products of Boroughmuir. Especially Jordan. He's played here since he was a little kid. He played through the first. And some would probably say he was a late bloomer, but it just shows, if you stick at it and you keep working hard, anything can happen. So I mean, they're just great products of the club. Good role models for the younger guys coming through, and they're just prime examples of that. The pathway systems here at Boroughmuir. And hopefully that brings players go, I want to play my rugby at Boroughmuir because of those products, such as those players. Super 6 is, I think it's something that Scottish rugby's obviously wanted to do for a long time, but now that it's here, it's just only going to keep getting better and better. And that's going to really, I guess, slingshot Scottish rugby forward, up the tier ranks of world rugby. And hopefully we're going to see more and more younger players getting into that, Scotland national team.
I started off around P2, P3 at Stuart's Melville Lions. Sort of just went along there. My brother's a couple of years above me played, so I think I sort of went along to their sessions and then eventually got involved in my own year. Since I started high school, so S1 is when I started at Boroughmuir, and then have been here ever since, so about 5-6 years. Maybe in my 3rd or 4th year here, so about S4. And Boroughmuir just sort of launched their academy, and that was just really good for all the players, like a lot of extra sessions, and it just sort of taking it a wee bit more seriously, I would say. And then, I think all those extra sessions, all the extra time here just really helped with developing me and all the other boys. And the number of sessions a week were increased, and then we started gym sessions as well, which really helped downstairs in the gym. So everything was here, and some extra pitch sessions a couple times a week as well. So yeah, pitch and gym, and then there was a few sessions up in the classrooms up there where it was just sort of like goal setting and things like that. So really good. Yeah, all the boys were really up for the game, and it would have been such a shame not to go out on a win. So yeah, that was a great day for the club and all the under-18s team. France was amazing. Yeah, three really tough games. Really good to get the win vs Italy as well, but a shame on the last game day vs England. We just fell short. But yeah, the 3 games out there were class and a lot of learnings. It's quite cool to see that you can be playing for Birmingham Bears and you can still make the step up into national level. It's never too late. And yeah, just really good to see 2 boys that you've watched for a few years do really well.
Alex Toulis there and Liam McConnell talking about the great work of the Boroughmuir Academy. So half time here at very wet Millbrae in the 3rd final fixture of the weekend in the FOSROC Super 6 Sprint Series. Ayrshire Bulls 17, Heriot Rugby 7. So plenty of action in that first half. So let's have a look at the tries.
One question and box kicks.
So
how's it looking from the far Ayrshire side?
Away there goes Cam Jones down the blind side. The scrum kicks it through and picked up on the hoof by Elias Caven. The Ayrshire Bulls left wing to go over for the first try of the game when it was 13 minutes old. See Caven snapping that up with 2 Heriots players on hand. Great work there. And then the reply shortly after for Heriots. The initial drive there by Jason Hill. And then Jack Mann, the blindside flanker on hand, is to pick that one up and drive over. See Hill with a powerful drive there. Good ball presentation and quick ball for his back row partner to go over. And the conversion from close range successful for Houston. So at that stage Heriot Rugby led by 7 points to 5. Back came the Bulls. Tom Lambert, the man to go over. A loose head prop. The drive from close range. You can see it from a different angle behind the posts there. As that maul just inched towards the line. Lambert appeared out the back of it. And dotted down, not the best kick there by Townsend in very difficult conditions, so he missed his first 2. Again back came the Bulls. That dart there by Tom Jordan, found support on his right from Cam Jones, and then the offload to Aaron Tate, the winger, who went over for the Bulls' 3rd try. Great support work there, Grant Stewart on hand as well if he had been needed. Over goes Aaron Tate. That's both wingers scored for the Bulls. Conversion successful on this occasion for Townsend. And then what should have been Heriot's Rugby's 2nd try, crossfield kick by Cameron Hutchison, taken out wide by Rory Leishman, and then fed infield to Freddie Owsley, was over the line, but got hit in the tackle by Grant Stewart and lost the ball. A fantastic first half of action, Kenny, and I think we can certainly look forward to the same in the second half. Yeah,
been interesting to see how that second half goes. I think it was certainly built up as being the big game of the weekend, and it's not really let us down, has it? I think both in physicality and it being a contest, you know, I think the game can still go either way. I think Ayrshire probably just capitalised on their territory a little bit more than Heriot's, but again, this game could go any way. Both teams capable of scoring tries.
So with the Ayrshire Bulls to start this second half.
Okay, thanks.
Christian Townsend,
Okay.
19 still. Played for Scotland at under 16, under 17, under 20 level.
Okay. You ready?
So the Bulls playing from right to left in the second half as we look from our commentary position. Townsend gets a bit of height on that one, just far enough that the Bulls chasers couldn't get there, so it's taken cleanly by Heriot. Elder-Bloom just asking a couple of forwards to come in there before he sends that ball away along the back line, so risky here for Heriot, but they go across to the other side of the pitch, then exit down the right touch line. Taken at the back there by Townsend, who just sends that one back high. However, hasn't caught that one right. It's gone out on the full, and that has worked out well for Heriot.
Yeah, interesting. Heriot's having moving the ball wide that deep in their own half to obviously exit from that. But again, just an error there by Ayr, kicking it out in the full gives Heriot another opportunity to attack. I think that looked like a sore one to the Heriot's prop there, to Chris Keane. He went down pretty early. Don't know, get a bang on the ribs or on the side there.
Yeah, it looks a bit lower than the ribs. No, maybe it is. It's a sore one anyway. He's not looking very comfortable. He's been excellent. He's got his hands on the ball around the field, but at scrum time he was superb in that first 20-25 minutes.
Definitely, he had real dominance in the scrum there, and he works hard around the park. He's always looking to get his hands on ball, but I noticed that it went down really quickly after that collision, so it doesn't look too good for him.
He might be right, might well be ribs actually anyway. Another enforced change in the front row for Heriot. Already lost Ewan McLaren, replaced by Struan Sesford, and now Keane going off with Josh Scott in the replacement.
Yeah, Mark's there. We have to wait. Wait, please. Okay.
The referee just waiting on Keane getting himself off the pitch. Very gingerly. Heriot's in a hurry to get going here.
Okay, thank you for waiting. Let's go. It's okay, don't worry.
Thank you for waiting. The referee says that they obviously didn't want to wait. But
time on.
The players, the reins, making the players a bit chilly. Just want to get on with it.
Certainly not the warmest evening here at Millbrae. A little bit too intricate there by Heriot, and it's resulted in a turnover in what should have been a great attacking position for them. And Blair Mcpherson charges into contact there, the big Ayrshire Bulls captain, and number 8, Cam Jones. He just feeds it off there to pod of forwards. Here comes Grant Stewart. Cam Jones starts to dig for that one again. Looks like he'll put boot to ball. He does indeed. Sends that one down into that Heriot's half, and a confusion there between the two men at the back for Heriot. Knocked that ball on.
It was knocked on first.
And I think you probably said this earlier, Kenny, the beauty of a kicking game in these conditions, there's always a chance of a mistake.
Yeah, I think good play by Cam Jones. I think, just building that kick. I think with Heriot as well, though, that guy can want the ball's got to have the right to take it. It's always difficult for guys moving back to get onto the ball. So again, maybe just a lack of communication there. I think you're putting some good pressure on the line out as well through Alex Samuel. That was a bit of an untidy line out for Heriot. So again, they obviously want to have a go there and try and stop them getting clean ball.
Okay, lads. Crouch. Bind.
The early stages of this second half at Millbrae, no change to the half-time score. Still Bulls 17, Heriot's 7. Picked up at the base there of the Bulls scrum by the captain, Blair Mcpherson. In comes Cam Jones, and out it goes to Ryan Sweeney, back from injury today, former Hawks player, and charges into contact just outside that Heriot's 22. And one of the Heriot's players going off their feet could well have been Jason Hill. And a penalty here to Ayrshire Bulls, very kickable, but we've already seen how dangerous they are from the line out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they back their drive here. Yeah, I think they are going for it.
Yep, Christian Townsend shaping up to kick to the corner.
I thought it was fine.
Again, scrum was a bit untidy there, but Blair Mcpherson just taking advantage of that and going down that short side. We've seen that a few times today now.
That's where their first try for Elias Caven came from. The scrum field up on the loose head side, and forced Cam Jones to break left.
You're
It
good,
worked
yeah.
out perfectly as he threaded a kick through for Elias Cavan. Again, good take in the line out there. On they go, Ed Bloodworth takes that one. And Ayrshire Bulls drive that forward. It's been brought down by Heriot. I think he's playing an advantage. He said it was a collapse there by Heriot. They'll have another chance here, the Bulls.
He's collapsed them all. Nope.
Great job, boys, great job.
17 has collapsed them all.
All right, let's go, let's go.
You've collapsed them all.
Andrew Nimmo, I think the guilty party there.
Okay.
Well, sorry, Josh Scott rather.
Them all forms, keep it up.
Now changes in the back line for the Bulls.
Get in front of him, get in front of him.
Focus. Yeah.
See Matt Minogue making an entry.
Peel on the tail, peel on the tail, yeah.
And again it comes from Stewart, taken by Samuel, and once again that Bulls drive. Ball's been lost though, knocked on I think by the Bulls, hacked through by Heriot. So Heriot survive.
Yeah, you would have hoped to have capitalised on that, so good work by Heriot there.
Knock on.
We mentioned before what a great attacking weapon it is for the Bulls, but they had 2 or 3 opportunities last week up at Bridge Hawk which they couldn't take advantage of, and they'll be really disappointed not to have made more of that.
Yeah, you've got to take your chances, haven't you? You know, you get into these areas of the park,
Keep
you
showing
know,
the gap, Hookers. Good work.
5-6 metres out from the try line, you've got to take your opportunities, especially in days like this when it's so wet.
There's a long way to go still, but you get a sense that if the Bulls had got themselves across the try line there, it's a long, long way back for Heriot.
Yeah, that next try could be a really important one, couldn't it? You could go,
Let's go.
a good 13-14 point
Yeah, I'm ready.
difference.
No? Nothing wrong, all good.
Interesting substitution. I think Ayr have brought Matt Minogue on for Finn Callahan, so somewhat must be a change there at centre. Matt Minogue normally plays at 10.
Bind. Set.
Again that Heriot scrum under pressure. And Jason Hill does well there, picks up from the base. Here come the Heriots forwards to secure that. And then fed back by Jed Gelderblumen.
Stop, you're on now.
And that's quite a collision in the
you're on by the
in-goal
way.
area there. I'm just looking to see if Bruce Houston's got back up from that one.
Yeah, great kick pressure. I think it's from Alex Samuel. I think it looked pretty legal, but great effort and work rate from Alex
Okay, I'll have a
Samuel
word
there.
with him. Yeah, sorry, who was that?
He's been good today, Alex Samuel.
8 and 9 Heriot subs.
Regular target in the line out for the Bulls. Originally from Madras and then played at Stirling. Was a Scotland under-20 captain last year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we missed him in the Six Nations this year, so as I said earlier, it's great to see him playing today and getting some time in the tank here, so look forward to seeing him playing again in the summer.
And obviously a player with some leadership qualities as well. The Bulls then from the line out just outside the Heriots 22. The ball in the hands again of Grant Stewart, breaks off. Dragged to deck there by his opposite number, Michael Linus. Cam Jones now. Out to the forwards, the Bulls keeping it tight for now. Ball gone loose again, squirts out.
Turnover was good.
Snapped up there by Fraser Hasty. This is 28th birthday yesterday. Come on the field now for Heriot. Again, Houston's probably not enjoying the last minute or so. He's been clattered twice just as he's tried to get a kick away.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe if Pete's had a word on at half time and said he's had too easy a shift, so they're putting real pressure on the kicking game. You know, especially in these weather conditions, both 9s and 10s are always under pressure, so you want to get as much kick pressure on them as possible, and they're definitely doing that at the moment.
No, it's a good turnover. Okay.
I think the Bulls players just disputing that last turnover.
Again, I think it's just a warning to Ayr that, you know, Heriots are very good over ball and they will put you under pressure at breakdown. So I think, you know, their ball carry, their work on the ground, and their speed to contact will have to be on top of its game here if they want to build any pressure in their attack.
Come round the far side and have a look.
Several changes in that Heriot's pack.
Okay, are you ready
Some
to
of
go?
them enforced, lost both their props to
Okay.
injury.
Let's go.
Josh Scott and
Yeah, it was
Struan Sesford
inside,
on.
yeah.
Also got Fraser Hasty on there now. Grant Stewart again to throw in the line out for the Bulls. He's been impeccable with his throwing so far this afternoon. It's towards the back. Well, I spoke too soon because that one, well, it wasn't taken as it was meant to, but it well, there was a chance there, I think, for Tom Jordan, but couldn't get hands on it. It's been hacked off downfield by Heriot. Goes just a little bit too far though, and dealt with by, I think that was Matt Minogue all the way back there for the Bulls.
Yep, definitely the kiss of death there.
Should have kept my mouth shut, sorry.
Make sure they're behind you.
Yeah, just an overthrow there by Grant by the looks of it. Again, it's not a daft option there by Heriot, you know, some real space in the backfield, so it's a good option.
We're off again though, with Heriot's in possession, charging back towards that Ayrshire Bulls 22. Big collision there. And it comes into the midfield for Struan Sesford, replacement tight head prop. Change at half back, I think, there as well. Is that Murdo McAndrew on for Heriot? It is indeed. The ball played out the back from the pod of forwards. It didn't go where it was meant to. Still Heriot's in possession, but they've lost 10 or 15 metres there. Tommy Hutchison has to tidy that one up, the inside centre. Edinburgh player, former North Berwick High School pupil.
Slow ball anyway.
Again, McAndrew digs for that one. Just a little bit static there for Heriot. Back on their own side of halfway now, and Houston decides that he doesn't want to go back any further. Kicks that one long into the Bulls 22.
Stop please.
Sent back off downfield by the Bulls. And it's the Bulls who come out on top in that particular duel as they find a touch on the Heriot's 10 metre line.
Yeah, again a decent set of defence there by the Bulls. Heriot's not getting a lot of ground from that passing play.
On the line, please.
Heriot's can maybe go a bit more direct, I think, in some of those phases. Obviously try to get the back a wee bit in these weather conditions. It is quite tough if you're not accurate, so again they've probably put themselves under a bit of pressure with their connections at the moment.
Time off.
Another break in play here for an injury. Trying to see one of the Bulls players down. Still got about half an hour left to play in this one. Some games seem to drag on a bit, and this one, it feels like it should be almost done. There's been so much involved, and still got half an hour left in it. It's been superb.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been end to end, and obviously both teams playing well. Both teams had opportunities. I think the physicality across the game's been really good. And again, half an hour to go, so lots to play for.
So Joe Knight on in the back row now for the Bulls. Ryan Sweeney making way. His return from injury today. It's Heriot's with this one. Another change in the back row for Heriot. Ronan Sadak, Polish international, on for Ian Wilson. Up inside flanker. Huge contest at the breakdown there. That's the Bulls that come out on the right side of it on this occasion. The referee awarding them the penalty.
Again, great work by Grant Stewart. Kick pressure on the 9, we spoke about earlier on. Heriot's probably just had to lengthen that ruck a little bit more. Put themselves under a bit of pressure with that kick. But again, just shows you those sort of small things in the game, those kick pressure that, you know, the things that sometimes people don't look at and don't see. Like the outcomes from that can be really beneficial. Now here I've got an opportunity for another attacking line out in the 22.
That one looked like it came off the side of the boot. Christian Townsend there, and it hasn't found a touch, so it's Heriot's in possession, back on their own line, trying to play their way out and try and just set up a position to clear this one, you would think.
Stay outside.
Murdo McAndrew on now.
Away now, away. Ball's there.
Again, you'd think the Bulls will put pressure on
Time to run.
this kick.
Cuts all onside.
They did indeed, got a fingers to it. That's not gone out, and charge there by Blair Mcpherson. The big Ayrshire Bulls number 8. Grant Stewart popping up everywhere.
No Defence.
Takes play back into the Heriot's 22. Ball lost again though. It's these difficult conditions. Referee playing an advantage here. So Heriot's, if they want, can have a go wide. No, they decide just going to hoof that off downfield. So that'll be advantage. Well, I was going to say advantage over. The referees decided no. Late tackle.
No, it's not. No, it wasn't.
I think Christian's obviously tried to push that ball right to the 5 metre channel. It's maybe just get caught a bit in the wind, so he'll lose out on that opportunity.
Right, let's go. It's okay, we can still go.
So still no change to the half-time score, but no shortage of action.
Okay.
Just waiting on a ball reappearing onto the pitch here at Millbrae. Still breezy, you can see the flag just behind the hoardings there. Just blowing in the wind. Decent clearing kick there for Heriot, so from the penalty. So they're throwing to the line out just on their side of halfway.
It was a late tackle on the 9. You need to be careful. Okay. No. Okay, hold on. Time off.
It's become a bit stop-start of late, just with some more changes. Changing the front row there for the Bulls. Looked like Tom Lambert giving way there. Andrew Nimmo coming on. The 17 jersey just at the front of the line out there. The Heriot's players went off as well. We'll bring you news of that in a second when we see who that was. But taken cleanly from the line out by Heriot's. And they get a drive on now. Jack Mann at the back there. Number 6 try scorer for Heriot's. Breaks away, makes good ground there. In goes Stewart again, trying to win that for the Bulls, but it's Heriot's in possession. A little bit slow, it allowed the Bulls defence to get up hard on Cameron Hutchison. It goes again though to the Heriot's captain Leishman. Again appeals from the Bulls. They thought they'd won that turnover. However, I think there was a Bulls player in the way there. So I think the referee explained it. Probably the man that won the ball was okay. It was another player that was infringing.
Yeah, I think it was just that tackle assist didn't roll away. Another very good line out from Heriot's driving at the tail. Always tough to stop. So building some good pressure. Ayr getting off the line well in defence, but again, I think there's big ball carriers Heriot's have got, and you've got to get off the line, hit them, double hit them, or else you're under pressure.
Mistake there by Heriot's, a chance to get themselves some territory and a line out.
Yep. Stop
in that Bulls 22, and then kicked out on the full by Heriot. So 2 mistakes, one compounding the other. That's both sides making a similar error in the last couple of minutes. Townsend failing to find a touch for the Bulls a moment or two ago, but that's costly for Heriot.
Yeah, three loose kicks in the space of 2 minutes really. And again, in these tight games there's not a lot in it. These are the ones that could really hurt you.
I'm not going to say anything. Grant Stewart, I said, was impeccable, and then he missed his next one. He does find this one. Alex Samuel again. He's taken a huge amount of line out ball this afternoon. Bulls having to work hard to get this one back. Stewart in there, acting as scrum half, and out it comes to Tom Jordan. Always runs hard, met with stiff resistance at Heriot's defence. It looks like Cam Jones setting up for another kick. Bulls deciding that kicking is in order now and get themselves as much territory as possible. So back it goes into the Heriot's 22, and Heriot's looking to run it out. This could be dangerous. Dragged down just outside the 22. Ball goes loose, does come back on the Bulls side. However, it's come up in the hands of Hutchison there. He looked to race away downfield. However, I think there was a knock on back in the Heriot's 22, and what have we got, 24 minutes left, so it's no time for Heriot's to be panicking. You got a little bit of a sense there that they were starting to.
Yeah, I think Ayr just happy to turn them a little bit there, get the ball in, make them play from deep in their 22, back their kick chase, quite an aggressive quick chase from Ayr there. It's always a bit of a gamble running from your own 22 in weather conditions like this, and it gives Ayr another good attacking scrum and a good field position.
It seems like an age since we were back here saying that if the Bulls could get themselves another try, it'd be very difficult for Heriots to come back from. So here's a good attacking scrum just outside that Heriots 22. Enough space on the left hand side should they wish to use it, but imagine they'll go to the right.
There you go, let's go. Give him the gap, you give him the gap, he'll put his head in. Let's go, boys, come on.
Very calmly refereed by Keith Allen.
Yeah, an experienced referee. Doesn't take any rubbish off the players, as you can see. Keen for the game to get moving and not a lot of stoppages, which is excellent.
He's done a good job today, assisted by Ben Blaine and Michael Todd.
Bind. Set.
Cam Jones to feed the scrum. Blair Mcpherson just waits in it at the base. Cam Jones breaks off to the right, so McPherson will either go himself or he'll feed Jones. Will change the direction. Out they come to the left. Kick through by Jones. And Chase here beats everybody, bounces into touch. A good kick through by Jones. Dangerous for a moment for Heriot.
Yes, well worked there. Obviously they've got that as an option off those scrums that they can go back down that short side. I think 2 more backs came in a sweep. I think it was Christian and maybe a winger came back in a sweep. So obviously a pre-planned option off scrums. And again, just turning Heriot's getting the ball in behind them and making them have to play from those deep exit areas. So they'll be happy with that.
Well, that's where the first try of the day came from. A kick through off the left boot by Cam Jones, snapped up by Elias Caven. It looks like Cam Jones taking a bit of a knock there. Is he okay? So taken in a shortened line out there by Heriot as they look to try and exit, get themselves upfield. Hard work for the referees. You can hear him panting over the mic there. I think there's a huge amount of effort going in from both sides. And still got another 20 minutes to get through in this one. Bulls 17, Heriot 7.
I think territory becomes really important. Possession becomes important in the last 20 minutes of games. Heriot will be wanting to get into that air half and try and build some pressure that they did early in the first half.
Really finding it difficult to get out of their half at the minute, the Edinburgh side.
Well, keep it up.
Again, good throw there by Grant Stewart, taken well in the line out, and once again they get momentum going forward very quickly, but Stewart breaks off, looks for support. He's got Cam Jones with him, just straightens and drives forward. Back it comes, and Roddy Jackson there has to act as scrum half and then go in and secure possession there. This time Jones is in. He looks for his forwards. The Bulls keeping it tight. Now they might go wide. Townsend out the back there to Jordan. Little kick through off the right foot by Jordan. It's just the bounce of the ball. Dealt with well at the back there by Ross Jones.
Yeah, again, just sit here, happy just to put that ball in behind them. Turn them, put them under pressure. Aggressive chase from there as well, and suddenly they've got another fantastic attacking line-out option.
You've spoken to me really well all game.
It might well been Robert Kay, in fact, over there tidying up for Heriot.
Okay. Heriot,
The Bulls will be desperate to make something of this. They've had 2 or 3 opportunities in the second half, not been able to take any of them. What can they do from here? Again, taken cleanly in the middle of the line out there by Edward Bloodworth. Good resistance initially by Heriot. Them all just starting to inch forward now, working their way towards that Heriot's line. The Bulls, down it goes. Referee on the spot, however. Michael Todd's flag has gone up. And Heriots have driven them out into touch.
Yeah, I think it's excellent work by Heriots, big men there. They obviously know how dangerous that air pack is when you get close to the line, so great line out defence by Heriots.
Yeah. Okay. Bulls 3. Number 3. Sub.
Again, changes here. Sounds like Michael Scott will give way to Calvin Henderson.
Okay.
Former Mar player.
Okay. Time back on.
Applause there from the Millbrae crowd. Appreciate his efforts this afternoon. So Heriots again with a throw into the line out under pressure. 5 metres out from their line. Thought about throwing a ball there, did Murdo McAndrew, and thought better of it, took it into contact himself. Means they've got no scrum half here, so they just have to pop it off to the forwards. And the Ayrshire Bulls desperate to keep Heriot's pen back.
Stay up.
on their own line here.
Stay on side.
Huge pressure on everything that they possibly can on the breakdown there. They'll put pressure on this kick. Back it comes then to Houston.
Yeah.
Once again hit as he sent that downfield. It's not gone into touch, so here's a chance again for the Ayrshire Bulls. Aaron Tate, try scorer, carries it back to the 22. However, ball's been lost. Away goes Mann, looks for support, offloads it there to his winger. Pop back in field, kicked through there by McAndrew. It's snapped up at the back.
Stop back, stop.
By Tom Lanny on there now for the Bulls. It's still Heriot's then who to send this one long out of their 22. Townsend at the back for the Bulls. Again, happy just to put boot to ball, send it down that left touch line. Heriots will return it. A kicking duel here. However, that one goes out on the full. And once again, it's the Bulls who come out on top in the kicking duels.
Yeah, I think they're definitely winning that kicking battle at the moment here. You know, even just those wee kicks in behind, they're putting Heriots under a lot of pressure. Great to see Heriots playing again, though. You know, that Jack Mann up that short side there. You know how strong a ball carrier he is, and just their mindset to keep that ball alive. So Heriots not giving up and want to play rugby even in these conditions.
James Cooper on the wing in place of Sam Pecure for Heriot's Rugby. He was the capital side's only try scorer in that 41-7 loss here at Millbrae last August. As we mentioned at the start, the Bulls have come out on top in the side's last two encounters.
That's fine. Okay, time on.
And as things stand, about 17 minutes left in this one. It looks like they might well extend that advantage that they have over the City side. Heriots then still back on their 22.
Okay, stop
Houston
till you're on. Yeah.
Again sends that one long. Does make a touch, however. Back we go again. Ball kicked out in the full, and Heriot really cannot get themselves out of their own half.
No, they can't at all. I think, what was that? I'm not sure if that was moved past back in, but again, Aero take that. Again, they can't really get out of the half. They can't get into real attacking positions. Heriots, they've shown already what they can do when they get into Ayer's half, but at the moment their kicking game's letting them down, and they can't really build any pressure from it.
Sure, Mark, that's good.
As you say, the ball was initially out of the 22, but because it was passed back in, if it's kicked out in the full, we'll come back to where the ball was kicked from.
Thanks.
So Grant Stewart again to throw into the line out. You see there on screen confirmation, James Cooper on for Freddie Owsley in fact. So Heriot's come up with possession from that Bulls throw into the line out. Murdo McAndrew looking for forwards there. And he takes on the kicking duties himself, the replacement scrum half. Bounces unkindly there. That was being chased by Pecure there.
Yep. Okay. Two
I
Heriots.
think Matt Minogue at the back for the Bulls, but it evaded both of them, bounced into touch.
Yeah, I think just the Heriots player on the chase just slipped as well, unfortunately, and didn't allow him to put pressure on as he wanted to. But again, from Heriots, better kick there from Murdo McAndrew. Got themselves into a much better territorial position, so they'll look to try and look another line-out steal here.
The game hasn't quite flowed the same in the last 15 or 20 minutes, but no less exciting. Certainly plenty of action. Still no change in the half-time score. The Bulls leading by 10. Over the top it goes, and it's Heriots on the attack now for seems the first time in an age, threatening that Bulls 22. Out it comes, picked up well off his feet by Cammy Hutchison, and they go wide down that left side. Jack Mann, nice little offload there, and away go Heriots, and it's a great charge there over the line there. It's a replacement, James Cooper. I just mentioned that he'd scored in the fixture here last year, the only Heriots try scorer. Well, he's got his side back into this one. The Ayrshire Bulls 17, Heriots 12. Fantastic try there for Heriot. Seemed to come from nothing.
Yes, a brilliant try. Obviously, great line out steal. Jack Mann involved in it again. He's involved in a lot today, and a great finish by James Cooper as well. You know, great movement skills, stepping inside, outside.
Can you put it on?
And Heriot's back in the game now.
Cheers.
First time really Heriots have managed to get in their half in the last sort of 10 minutes really, and they get a try from it. So again, game on.
Well, it just shows how a game can change, and if you don't take advantage of your opportunities, because Ayrshire Bulls have had umpteen and haven't managed to get themselves across the line, and then Heriots take the first chance they get at the other end.
Yeah, that's right. Those line-out drives, you know, when you lose the ball or you know, you get turned over 5 minutes out from the try line, they come back to hurt you later on in the game. But can't take anything away from Heriots here. You know, they've played rugby right throughout. They've kept their attacking mindset even in these conditions. So again, it's going to be really interesting the last 13 minutes coming up.
Conversion attempt. Houston from out wide. And up go the flags. That's a fantastic kick there by the Heriots standoff, the Ulsterman. It's a 3-point game. It looked like Heriots had no way back into this one, and suddenly we have a game on our hands again.
Yeah, I think now this is where, you know, possession and territory in the last 10 minutes become important. Heriots probably won't want to be overplaying too much deep in their own half.
Long kick there by the Bulls, and they'll try and keep Heriots back where they've had them for the bulk of this half. Heriots happy to play there in their 22. He's trying to set up a position you would think for a kick. Back again they go to the blind side through Ronan Sadak. Played international rugby for Poland, a Polish grandfather, him and his brother I believe. And up it goes from replacement scrum half Murdo Bukandru on for Jed Gelderbloom. Back come the Bulls, charging forward big number 8 Blair Mcpherson, and then Tom Jordan, physical as always, inside centre, eventually dragged down there by the Heriots defence. And some hard running here from the Bulls. They've got their tails up now, stung by that Heriots try. Townsend, Cam Jones still on there in scrum half. Jordan Lennox in reserve should they need him. And Lanny there acting as first receiver. Cam Jones again. Fullback Liam McNamara getting himself involved for the Bulls.
What's that, please, Todd?
Out to McPherson again, get himself involved in the game as a ball carrier. And a little chip over the top there by Cam Jones. Bit too far there though, no chase from the Bulls, and the mark taken at the back for Heriots, a chance for them to get themselves upfield.
Both teams really abrasive there, both in their ball carry and in their tackling. They realise how tight the game is now, and any line break, any half line break now could be really difficult to come back from.
They didn't find a touch there, maybe deliberately because it was a free kick. Kicked again by the Bulls, juggled by Houston. He put himself under a bit of pressure, hit it with his left foot up over halfway. So Bulls again with a chance to attack, shift it out to their left flank. Back there comes Rory Jackson to offer himself. On it goes to Matt Minogue in the 22 jersey. However, put a foot on the touchline there, so good defence by Heriots. And they will throw it into the line out just on their side of halfway.
Black, you're on the line, please.
Heriots starting to get himself in the game right away, aren't they? After that try, they're getting a bit more field position. Their kick chase is a lot better. You know, they're putting the air under pressure, not giving them much time in the ball. So a couple of high passes there by air allowed them to Heriots to get in their face. So they're definitely back in the game now.
Opportunity for Heriots then from the line out, still just in their own half. Jack Mann has been heavily involved in this game, the 6 jersey on for Heriots. Stays attached to them all there. Now they break away. It'll pop off the floor, can't be taken though by Rory Leishman, the Heriots captain. You can see what they were trying to do and offload the ball, maybe just in the conditions too much for Leishman to deal with.
Yeah, great work by Jack Mann again. He powers through contact, doesn't he, whenever he's in possession of the ball. I'm not sure if maybe they get the ball ripped off him there, Leishman. I'm not sure whether they dropped it, whether it was actually ripped. If it was a great piece of defence.
Let's go. Yeah.
Come on, Josh. Come on, Dan.
Let's go. Okay, lads.
Another scrum here for the Ayrshire Bulls. Cam Jones still on the field. So we have Jordan Lennart, who played last week in reserve, but Cam Jones looks like he might get the 80.
There's your mark.
Let's go, boys.
Both of you get the feet underneath. I know it's slippy, but we can't use that as an excuse. Let's go.
Let's go, Trish, come on. Let's go back, boys. Let's go. Come on, Millar, boys. Come on. Let's go, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, hold that way. Hold that way.
Another reset scrum. Cam Jones waits patiently.
Bind.
A new opponent standing with him now, Murdo McAndrew on for Jed Gelder-Bloom in the second half for Heriot. Straight as you like into scrum, straight into the feet of Blair McPherson. Congratulations offered to the front row of the Bulls there. Heriot's guilty of pulling down there. It's a penalty to the Bulls, and Townsend will find his side a position. Well, you would think he missed his last attempt, so we'll maybe wait to see if it goes into touch. He's come off the side of the boot the last time. He does find a safe touch on this occasion. A bit too far out for the driving line out, but a good position here for the Bulls.
Yeah, well, a bit more conservative, I think, with that one. I think that Ayr front row that's come on has obviously done a good job there as well. We've got bats in the back.
And it comes a new thrower, Alex Maguire on for Grant Stewart for the Bulls. Ball again squirts out the back. Bulls a bit untidy there. Ball went backwards though, so play on, the referee says. Cam Jones sends play away out to the right flank. Eric's trying to hold their man up there. Hutchison very physical, the referee said. Knees on the deck, so it was a tackle. Alex Samuel getting himself involved in again. Great offload there. Ball lost though, knocked on by the Bulls. So Heriot's now, and at the stage of the game, almost have to force things, even though they're penned back in their half. Still 3 points behind, 6 minutes left. A little bit untidy there by the Bulls.
Yeah, right at the tail of that line out again. That's a couple of times now they've been a bit untidy.
So I never like picking a player of the match, and we've still got 5 minutes left, and there's still it could still go either way. But Kenny, you have chosen as the FOSROC Super 6 player of the match, Alex Samuel.
Yeah, I think he's had a fantastic game. Some great performances. I thought Jack Mann as well has been outstanding for Heriots, but I think for Alex, his line out work, his work rate in defence, but just that unseen work he does, the kick pressure, the kick chase work that you don't see. So yeah, he's one of the FOSROC man of the match.
You said just coming back from an injury, you'll be desperately keen to get him involved again. Is he still aged for under 20s?
Yeah, so he's under 20 this year. He obviously didn't play in the Six Nations, but all things going well, he'll be involved in the summer for us.
So Heriots 5 minutes left to rescue this one. Well, that was just made easier for them, at least to get out of their half, because they've been awarded a penalty from the scrum just outside their 22. So Bruce Houston just weighs up his options either way. It's the one appearance for Ulster against Leinster in the Pro 14. Ballymena was his club. Well, he caught that one well. He's got a good touch just inside the Bulls' half.
It'll be interesting to see what Heriots do here. That last line out drive they had was excellent. A lot of gain line from it, so interesting to see if they drive again or if they look for a little bus play.
I just thought he was coming out as well.
No, you're the first problem, you get straight.
A try at this stage could win it for Heriots. Jack Mann in there again, takes the ball off the top and then works his way to the back of the maul. Heriots get this one moving forward again. And just start to pick up some momentum. Back it comes though. Out there to Pecure, appearing off the right wing for Heriots. Takes it into contact. Counter ruck there though by Heriots, did enough to dislodge the ball, but no knock on. Still comes back on the Heriots side. Very difficult conditions out there. Surprising how few mistakes there have been, really, considering. Heriots working their way up towards the Ayrshire Bulls 22. Big collision there between the forwards. Ayrshire Bulls desperately trying to get off their line, not give the Heriots forwards any go forward whatsoever. And again goes Murdo McAndrew for that one. Out to Houston. Now they try and get it out to danger man Cammy Hutchison. Driven by his opposite number, 2 pros. Going head to head, Tom Jordan, Glasgow Warrior. And Cammy Hutchison, Edinburgh Rugby player. It was one of the head-to-heads that you picked out at the start, Kenny. And Houston again just caught 2 minds in. He's absolutely clattered there. Driven back by one of the Bulls. And then again a counter ruck. Bulls doing everything to force Heriot's back here, but still in possession on the City side. Murdo McAndrew feeds it off there to Fraser Hastie. Bulls trying to create a maul there though.
Taking out the 9.
Blair Mcpherson, a guilty party there. Looks pretty dejected there.
Yeah, it's loose play by Blair, I think. It was a good set of defence by Ayr. They knocked Heriot's back probably a good 15 metres there, so really well organised, well structured. So again, just a soft penalty giveaway after doing so well defensively.
Okay, I'm in a good position. I felt it was a legal tackle. That's why I haven't penalised it. Okay, I agree. I know you disagree. But time off.
We mentioned Keith Allen earlier, just explaining his decisions there to Heriot's players. Again, very calmly, and he's always happy to explain all of his decisions.
Yeah, I think Heriot's were maybe just complaining about one of the collisions there. There was a couple of real big collisions there, so maybe they felt one of those was a bit illegal, but referee was having none of it.
Okay,
it was maybe Bruce Houston got absolutely clattered. He got the ball and he looked caught in 2 minds, and before he knew it, it was being hit very hard by a couple of the Bulls players.
Yeah, I think Alex Samuel, he was involved in it. He was the one that made that big hit.
You're the boss, not me. Okay, taking out the 9, number 8.
So you hear the referee explaining the reason for the penalty. Blair Mcpherson, the Ayrshire Bulls, number 8, taking out Murdo McAndrew. And it's Rugby's replacement scrum half. So about 2 minutes left in this one. The Bulls will be getting nervous because they've led since about the 18th, 20th minute in this one.
Yep, discipline will be really important here as well for Ayr. You know, even giving away a penalty, you lose. You get a draw rather than a win.
A loose throw there by Maguire, replacement hooker. McPherson charging into contact again, as he's done all afternoon for the Bulls. Right, it goes to Townsend. Thought about a pass there. Decided to take the ball into contact. In again goes Mann. Digging for that ball for Heriot. They'll now be desperate to get hands back on it. We're into the last minute or 2 of this game.
Time you run there, make sure you're onside.
Cam Jones still on the pitch there. The scrum half for the Ayrshire Bulls. Again, well, didn't quite get his angles right there. He's kicked that one out in the full, and again just gives Heriot another opportunity. That'll disappoint the Bulls coaches.
Yeah, I think it was Duncan Hood, the Heriot who got over through that one.
On the front man,
again,
please,
those
guys,
are just critical lineouts. You have to win, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that area of the park and at time in the game. So they'll be disappointed with that, Heriot's. They've still got another opportunity here.
Quite correct, Alex Maguire, the replacement hooker for the Bulls. Duncan Hood on for Heriot, and finds his man on this occasion. And he goes, but again it's Mann. It's often the hooker that finds himself in that position, but it's Mann who swims his way to the back of the maul there. Controls it nicely.
Yeah, I think he's the guy that's wanting the ball as well as much as they can. He's so good.
Sideways, use it.
Coming sideways slightly, referee telling Murdo McAndrew to use it as a little go himself, and finds half a gap. Presents it back for Heriot, but of course they've got no scrum half. And the forwards has to come in. It's Fraser Hastie. And Hastie goes in and sticks hands on it again. This time he'll leave it for Murdo McAndrew. Heriot's in possession. It's a 3-point game. The clock going over the 80-minute mark. So if Heriots are going to rescue this one, they're going to have to do it now. They found some space down that left touchline in front of the stand. In come hands from the Bulls. Struan Cessford, who came on earlier than he would have expected in this game. An injury to Ewan McLaren.
Last now, leave it.
In goes McAndrew again, just weighs up his options. Play on that Bulls 10-metre line. He had some huge collisions. Big defence from the Bulls. McAndrew feeds Josh Scott there. Another replacement prop for Heriot. And losing some ground here. So the weight of that Bulls defence. Fine man, he gets them on the front foot, drives forward 5 metres or so, still around about that Bulls 10 metre line. Heriot's managing to hold on to possession, however, in go hands there from Lewis McNamara on in the back row for the Ayrshire Bulls, and wins what could be an absolutely crucial turnover for his side.
Yeah, I think this has probably been the second half. Some of Ayr's defensive sets have been top class. You know, Heriots have gone multi-phase and really not made any impact in the Ayr's defence. So I think their defence in the second half has probably won them this game here.
Yes, the referee does blow for full time. So Heriot's going through phases there, but couldn't get themselves beyond that Bulls 10 metre line. Heavy defence there by the Bulls. Eventually the turnover by Lewis McNamara, the Irishman, on in the back row for the Bulls, and the referee blows for full time. Finishes the Ayrshire Bulls 17, Heriot's Rugby 14. So Heriot's Rugby, having won their first 2, failed to go 3 in a row. Struggled, as we said, in the last, or in the recent outings against the Bulls, and today no different.
Cheers, Toddy. Good work. Cheers.
But it did go down to the wire. It looked for long periods in that second half that the Bulls would run away with it. They had umpteen opportunities to extend their lead, couldn't get themselves across the try line, and didn't in fact add to their half-time tally. That James Cooper try for Heriot's getting themselves back into it, but they just couldn't quite find that little bit of extra that they needed to cross the whitewash again. And the Ayrshire Bulls held on to win this one and keep themselves in the hunt. Remembering, after round 5, the league splits into a top 3 and a bottom 3. And the Ayrshire Bulls will have given themselves the chance today to end up in that top 3. So we spoke about the weather. It didn't stop both sets of players trying to be ambitious and trying to play rugby, and we really have been entertained this afternoon, Kenny Murray.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic contest. You know, both teams gave it their all. You can't argue with that. I think Ayr probably defensively in that second half, I think Pete will be really pleased with how they defended. Very physical, a lot of double shots in those Heriot's big men, and I think, you know, just not really gaining ground in their defence rather than conceding anything. I think Heriot's probably left a few tries out there, probably just didn't take their opportunities a couple of times. When you play in these big games against the better teams, obviously you need to do that, but really good contest, really good advert for the game as well.
Seth.
So we'll take the chance to look back over the crucial moments in this match. 3 tries for the Ayrshire Bulls, 2 for Heriot's Rugby. So here's the first one. At break as the scrum wheel to the left, kicked through by Cam Jones, and the chase by Elias Cavan. Wonderful control by the left winger to go over for the first try of the match.
Yeah, brilliant, absolutely great, fantastic skill. I think Cam Jones, another player who was excellent today. Really balanced game, his kicking game, his vision, accuracy of that kick. But brilliant skill set there by Elias Cavan to take that try.
Back came Heriot's 5 minutes later. Initial break by Jason Hill, and then picked up by Jack Mann, wearing the 6 jersey today, former Edinburgh Accies, another Scotland under-20 player, very powerful. And I think if Heriots had won that and you'd picked a man of the match from there, man, I'm guessing would have been who you chose.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the top performers today, has been for the last 2 games for Heriots as well, really important player for them. So yeah, fantastic player.
Conversion by Houston gave Heriots Rugby the lead briefly. They led 7 points to 5 at this stage, but back came the Ayrshire Bulls. The drive close to the line there, and it was Tom Lambert, the loosehead prop for the Bulls, who went over for their second try.
Yep, just using that power, that air pack, which they have done over the last few seasons. So again, it's difficult to stop when it goes forward, particularly when you've got a professional player prop on top of the ball.
Christian Townsend unable to add the extras for the first 2 Bulls tries, so it was a 10 points to 7 lead for the home side at this stage. Then up popped Aaron Tate after good work by Tom Jordan and Cam Jones to go over for his side's 3rd try.
Yeah, really good work here by Ayr. Heriot just get caught a little bit out defensively, but just that mindset to keep the ball alive. And as you said, Cam Jones involved again. You know, a great performance by him today as well.
This time, Townsend successful. And we'll take a break from the replays because our FOSROC Super 6 player of the match, which was awarded to Ayrshire Bulls number 5, Alex Samuel. Presented there by his captain Blair Mcpherson. Outstanding performance by the big man today.
Yeah, brilliant, really good to see him back playing. I know, having spoken to Pete recently, he said that he's been fantastic the last 2 games, but for me it's just the work he does off the ball is outstanding. You know, even in his collisions late on in the game there were fantastic. His kick pressure, relentless kick pressure on the 9s and the 10s, so great for him, great for Ayr, but also good for Scotland under 20s.
He's certainly got all the physical attributes that you would need to play at the top level again, but he's got plenty of rugby about him as well. Let's quickly just have a look at the last try of the game. It was James Cooper who came on for Heriot. In fact, we're going to have a quick look at the one that should have been scored. Freddie Owsley there. Great work by Rory Leishman to take the kick across field by Cammy Hutchison, and Owsley was across the line, but couldn't get the try. This was the try that got Heriot's back into it. Great work there by replacement winger James Cooper, just weaving his way down that left touchline and gave his side some hope.
Yeah, again, Jack Mann involved in everything good that Heriot's did today, and as you said, fantastic footwork by James Cooper on the wing.
And then the conversion by Bruce Houston from out wide was successful. That narrowed the gap to 3 points. Heriot's had opportunities to win the game. They got themselves into that Ayrshire Bulls half just towards the end of the match. And we see the final moments of the game here. That turnover by Lewis McNamara. And with that, the referee blew for full time. And the Ayrshire Bulls holding on for a narrow victory. One that keeps them in the hunt for one of the top 3 places. So let's have a look at the results from round 3 of the FOSROC Super 6 Sprint Series. Friday night's game down at the Greenyards finished the Southern Knights 10, Stirling County 24. And then the 2 o'clock kick-off this afternoon, the Boroughmuir Bears 0, Watsonians Rugby 15. And then, well, we would say it was the match of the weekend, but I think it probably was fair to say that a very narrow victory in the end for the Ayrshire Bulls, 17 points to 14 over Heriot's Rugby. So let's see what that means for the table. With 2 more rounds to play before the split. It's Watsonians Rugby who lead the way on 13 points. Heriot's Rugby picked up a losing bonus point today. And, 10 at the start of the weekend, 2 bonus point wins, but just the losing bonus point today sees them sit in second, tied on 11 points with Stirling County, and only a point back now. The Ayrshire Bulls on 10, still in 4th place, but I say very much in the hunt for the top 3 places, and then back in the bottom 2 positions, Boroughmuir Bears and the Southern Knights. So we will be back next weekend, Friday night as usual. And it's Stirling County who go up against the Boroughmuir Bears in that one. And then the 2 fixtures on Saturday, 2 o'clock kick-off. Another Edinburgh derby, Watsonians Rugby against Heriot Rugby. And then in the 4:30 kick-off, the Southern Knights play the Ayrshire Bulls. So that's it then for the 3rd round of fixtures in the FOSROC Super 6 Sprint Series. I'll just give the final word to Kenny Murray. Thank you for your input this afternoon.
No, a fantastic game to obviously be involved with. We did expect it to be a cracker, and the players didn't let us down. And again, when you look at the league table there, you know that game has really tightened up the table. So I think the next week's games are going to be fantastic. You know, some tough ones, some tough games for guys in the road as well, Ayrshire down to Southern Knights. So I'm looking forward to that.
So it's the home side then, back to winning ways today at Millbrae. Full time, Ayrshire Bulls 17, Heriot Rugby 14.